That's the only baseball I got going, and that is that, my friend.
All right. Well, let's do a little recap of the PGA last week. How did you end up doing in your fantasy spots? I took last place in almost everything. I went with a middle of the road group of players, pretty much everybody in the 8,000s, and I had Tiger Woods, but I didn't really have a stud, and I didn't really have any bums. I just played middle of the road, and it just didn't work out for me. Did you have any lineups that did well for you?
Yeah, I had some pretty good ones. So you had everyone but Woodland in the 8,000 range?
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly correct.
Went with the mid-range build and excluded the champion. That's unfortunate. No, I actually had a pretty solid week. Won the Listener League for the fourth time in 5 weeks. Cashed pretty well in a few big GPPs and hit both my cash game lineups. I think I profited like 10 or 15% on the week, so it wasn't anything special, but had a lot of good players, just nobody quite in the right lineup in the set. I had a lot of guys in my player pool that were really good, but just didn't quite put them all in the same lineup. So hoping to improve on that this week. We'll see.
Well, let's go through and look at, let me find my golf page. I just had it, and then I went away from it. Let me find it. Great radio. Riveting radio when I have exactly what I meant to be at and then lose it. Oh, hey, I just got a video pop up. I hate when that happens. ESPN drives me crazy. Their pop-up videos. Anyways. You have the results in front of you there, buddy?
Of our league?
No, the Open. There we go. I'm back on page. I got this now. So let's go through here and look at a few of these guys. So Woodland, you were a Woodland guy this week, were you not?
I was. I don't think we talked a ton about him on the pod last week, but yeah, I liked Woodland all week. I wish I would have had more exposure to him, of course, because obviously he was pretty tough to cash if you didn't have him at 13 under with Brooks finishing second. Then you had a slew of guys, 4 guys at 7 under.
Yeah, and we like these guys. You were all over Justin Rose. You were trying to talk us into Justin Rose.
I was. Yeah, his Sunday really pained me, and honestly, he scrambled and got up and down out of his freaking mind for the first 3 days. And come Sunday morning, I knew it wasn't going to last, so I'm not surprised he faded. But Brooks Koepka freaking does it again, man. I could not get on him last week for whatever reason. He looked like he was kind of rusty coming into the week. Only played once after the PGA before the U.S. Open, and just did it again. So, but yeah, other than that, I think we were on most of the.
We definitely had some love for John Rahm, for Xander, a lot of love for Xander. We talked about Chesticle a little bit, but not a ton, not as much as we have in the past. I know that you were a fan of Adam Scott, Henrik Stenson, Chess Hadley was on our list. I mean, these top 10 guys were guys we were pretty high on. So even if we didn't put them all in the right order, I'm pretty happy. You were really talking up Danny Willett down there, and he finished tied for 12th.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite value plays of the week, and he ended up coming through in a big way, especially over the weekend. He was pretty easily within the cut line after the first 2 rounds, and then really tore it up on Saturday. I think he shot 4 under on Saturday, if I'm not mistaken, and got up there in the top 15. So,
I mean, all of our top picks are right there in the top 25 to 30 range. It's just we just weren't on Woodland like we should have been.
Yeah, that's my 2 regrets from last week are the top 2 guys, not having more of Woodland and not being on Koepka whatsoever. I fell in love with DJ. Really didn't like Rory, which turned out to be whatever. I mean, he finished T9, which was okay for his price, but that's it, man.
I mean, looking through the bottom of the list, the people that missed the cut, I mean, there was only a few people that we liked. You had a little bit of love for CT Pan as a value guy, but that's, what are you going to do with a $6,000 guy, right? Yeah. But going through here, I mean, okay, Kevin Na missed the cut. No big deal. But none of the guys we were really like, hey, you got to get this guy on your team. We're down here. You did not like Ian Poulter this week, and he lived up to your vitriol.
Yeah, this type of course, like the U.S. Open, PGA Championship type setups, like we talked about going into Bethpage, they just do not fit his game very well these days. He's not
honestly the only names down here that got cut that were shocks to me were Lucas Glover, who I thought was just a lock to make that cut. And probably the only other guy we talked a ton about down here is Tony Finau. So those are really the only utter disappointments.
Wow, way to just name off my lineup here. Tony Finau, Kevin Na, Lucas Glover. Jeez, man. Wait, and I beat you? How did that
I think you did. I didn't see the final score. Maybe I did beat you. I don't know. I thought I took last.
I don't think we talked very favorably about Finau last week. I don't know, maybe Chris did or something, but I don't think he really talked a whole lot about guys last week. He might have played some guys in his lineup, but Chris kind of stepped back last week and wasn't too bullish on his normal guys. But
no, and I like Justin Thomas a little bit. He's been very volatile, either top 15 or cut. It's been a strange season for Justin Thomas, that's for sure.
No, Danger, yes. You beat me by 22 points, but I did beat Mark by 5 points. So
there we go.
Yeah, I mean, Webb and Cantley kind of brought it back on the weekend. Those were guys that we liked. Paul Casey as well. He really wasn't in the mix at all, but typical Matt Kuchar style fashion came in with a backdoor top 20, top 25. Tiger was disappointing, man. Tiger could not get his freaking irons dialed in. He drove it okay and just could not get his distances on his iron shots, man. It was frustrating to watch. So I don't know. All in all, good week. Couple disappointments, but yeah, I think we did pretty solid last week overall.
Not bad at all. So how hard is it for the? I don't know. Is Victor Hovland from Sweden or wherever that guy's from? I can't tell the flag.
Norway.
I'm not. Where is he? Poland.
He's Norwegian.
Norway. I knew it was somewhere in there, right? He's an amateur. Is that why there's no earnings there?
Yeah, he was an amateur as of last week. He won the USAM last year at Pebble, as a matter of fact, and retained his amateur status through last week, so that he could use his exemption for winning the USAM to play in the Pebble Beach U.S. Open. But he just turned pro this week. He's making his professional debut at the Travelers.
I was going to say, is that awesome because he got the exposure, or sad because he missed out on a $250,000 purse?
Oh, he's going to do just fine. He'll probably make more in sponsorship earnings than he missed out on this week, just because he played so well. He's already a hot name. He's going to be really good. I think he only played 2 years of college golf. So yeah, he's an up and coming prospect. He's going to be in Detroit next week, so I'll be out there watching him, as well as Matthew Wolff,
nice.
who we'll talk here.
Well, why don't you call me about next week, man? I'd like to get out there and watch a little golf with you. So I don't know if my schedule will let me do it, but I'll do my best.
Yeah, I will be there Thursday and Sunday pretty much all day.
Nice. I think I am tied up on Thursday, but I'll double check. Friday I'm free. I think that's the only day. But I digress. We'll double check.
Hey, Adam, did you get the opportunity to watch the vacuum demonstration that Danger did earlier today, cleaning up the Rice Krispies?
Yeah, it's very important to go after sponsorships for everyone involved. So I definitely did an unsolicited product demo for Shark Vacuums today, and I thought it was pretty impressive personally.
How'd it work out? Pretty well. I mean,
it vacuumed up some Rice Krispies like a son of a bitch, let me tell you.
All right.
So I tagged him on Facebook. I tagged him on Twitter. I sent him an email, and I said, look, you got a sponsorship opportunity for the hottest up-and-coming jack-off sports show on the interwebs. So.
Is that what we are?
I think so. That sounds good to me. That's what I'm going with.
We've been told we have the chemistry of childhood friends.
Yes, it's true.
But we've never met. At least
that's right.
Nobody.
Yeah, Andrea got online pretty late the other night, Adam, in a Facebook group that you weren't in, but she was going on and on about how entertaining it was that, us old childhood friends can have this hobby together. And I was like, yeah, we don't know each other at all.
Well, no, the best part was, how long have you known Chris?
Yeah.
None of us have ever met Chris.
Yep. None of us have ever met Chris. I think Adam has met Mark once.
No, never met Mark.
Nope.
Only you a few times.
Ah, nice. Yeah, because he didn't show up to our drinking outing that we did. That's right. He canceled on us. So Adam hasn't met Mark, and nobody's met Chris. So, yeah. And frankly, I knew Mark from the industry, but we weren't necessarily friends. Just beer friends. We both worked for breweries, obviously, and we saw each other at events and festivals. And literally one day he called me, and he's like, what are you doing tomorrow night? I got gifted a free 2-hour show at a radio studio, and I need a co-host. You want to talk about beer and sports and pop culture? And so we said sure, and this is what it turned into. That was week 1 of the NFL 2017. So just shy of 2 years ago is when Mark and I really became friends. And of course, Adam filled in for me. We had some mutual friends on Facebook, and I needed help. I needed to not do a 2-hour show in studio by myself. So it was a blessing that you showed up and helped me save the day a couple times. So.
I think I filled in for Mark specifically.
Yes.
It was you and I and that young lady that was with us, and then somebody else came the next week. Was it Kevin? No, I don't think it was Kevin.
Nah, Kevin never came in. There's another beer guy that lives in Royal Oak that came and helped us out. But
yeah, that's right. That's right.
But yeah, man, I mean, you helped me save the day, and then you came on strong with this golf knowledge, and Chris is the only one that really digs into any kind of actual analytics of metrics, super metrics, so it's been working out fun. I know the absolute least about anybody. I just like to talk and have the power to cut everybody else off. That's my favorite thing.
Well, and the funny thing is that our mutual connection, Mr. Tony Cafeo, he was my boss back for a brief stint in 2007. I transferred into his district. He was colleagues with some of my good friends. They were adversaries. They were battling for the same type of promotion. They liked Tony, but me and Tony got along really well. But that was about it. I had 2 months of working with Tony, and then I was gone. I saw him in a beer group. I was like, oh my God, hey, what's going on? And then, I think I drank a Event Horizon Vertical with him 2 years ago. I went to his house before he had kids, got really drunk, played with his dogs, drank some of his beers, brought some of my own. But that, that's the extent of that relation. I've hung out with Tony a grand total of 2 times. So it's kind of,
yeah, really. When Mark and I started pushing a lot of this online, and when we were a little, during football season, obviously we were a little bit more busy posting on not on the show times, because that's kind of, I think, mutually our most fun that we have is football season. And I remember Tony and Chris just getting on. I don't know if he was getting on me or Mark or whoever. You disagreed with something we posted, and we're super ultra critical of something, and said we didn't do enough research or something. You had something smart ass to say, and we were like, all right, smart ass, come on the show. And that's pretty much how it started, and then you just kind of never left.
I think you're painting that picture the wrong way. I think we agreed on some of the things. I think you're painting it in the wrong direction here. I do remember, though, being highly intoxicated on I think it was the second week, and it was when Jimmy G blew out his knee. I was very upset. I had a lot of money in Jimmy G, not just in best ball drafts, but season long leagues, everything that week. It just, man, that was a blow to the 49er Nation, but it was a blow to Chris Emmerich Nation too. Population won me. So. Well,
it all worked out, because now we're fast friends, and if we should meet any day, we're going to give each other very crisp high fives and drink a whole lot of beer.
Yes, and I do actually hold the Alexandria, Virginia record for most high fives in one single day.
We'll have to put that to the test. We'll get together with Mr. Adam White, and we'll just comb the streets of Royal Oak until we get all the high fives.
Well, I mean, look, me and my friend Joe Rollins lived with me in Alexandria. Actually, I tore his ACL in a wrestling match in our house, and I think he kind of milked it a little bit because I saw what Clay